What was the biggest mistake you made as a parent? I was raised to believe a little spank on the bottom was harmless. My 4 oldest kids got spankings when they deserved them. Not severe. Hardly anybody would have considered it abuse. Then came kid number 5. Another thing my parents taught was that you ate everything that was served. I figured I couldn't go wrong teaching my kids the same. What could go wrong teaching kids not to be picky eaters? This worked pretty well with the first 4. Then came number 5. He wasn't more than 2 years old. Certainly not yet 3. He was still in a high chair, and still wearing diapers. He was old enough to be off baby food and eating regular food with the family. I don't remember what was served that night, but he was not going to eat it. The rest of the family was finished, and he had not taken a single bite. I told him he was not leaving the chair until he ate. A half hour later, the food was cold and he still wasn't eating. I pulled him out of the chair and spanked him. Put him back in the chair. He still wouldn't eat. I was coming unhinged. Yelling at him. Scaring the life out of him. He still refused to eat. Must be he couldn't feel the spanking through his diaper. So I scooped him up and spanked him a bit harder. I was already horrified by my own actions, but I couldn't seem to stop. I don't know how many times I spanked him. 2? 3? More? Even my wife was afraid of me. She asked me to stop. She begged me to stop. Finally she demanded I stop. I just couldn't let that kid win a battle of wills. More baggage from my own upbringing. You always obey your parents, no matter what. I stormed off and shut myself in the bedroom for the night. Next morning, already ashamed of my previous day's actions, I got up and got number 5 out of bed to change his diaper. What I saw made me sick to my stomach. Bruises. I had struck my own son hard enough to leave bruises. Already ashamed. Now I was horrified. How could I have done such a thing? To make matters so much worse, a few years later we found out he was on the autism spectrum. As many kids do, who fall on the spectrum, he has certain tastes and textures he can't stand. At that moment, nothing I could have done to him would have made him eat that meal, because he couldn't. He wanted to please me, but he couldn't. His brain would not let him put that food in his mouth no matter what. That's the worst thing I've done. And thank goodness I learned my lesson. I have never laid a hand on any of my children since. Number 5 is doing great, by the way. He is 15 and in 10th grade. He struggles a bit with social interaction, but he is very smart and he does have a few good friends.